Morning. So obviously I'm awake with the solar winds and the solar storm. So I thought I'd come on and do a quick reading. Obviously I'm doing some grid healing at this time as well. So I thought I'd pop on and do a quick reading. Now this reading is for the healers out there, sorry. With what's happening around the planet, obviously England's in storms, which is absolutely aligned with the solar storms going on and obviously hitting the earth. I'm having impacts on my internet already, although we know there's some hackers still messing around with my phone, and you have no power over me. You have no control of my life. I am a healer medium and you can't stop me. You know, we know that there's people trying to control my career here. So not going to happen. Okay. So obviously full moon. Also be aware there are individuals that like casting full moon, dark magic on full moon. The cult will fall, the Freemasons will fall, the death magic, dark magic, graveyard magic, all those that cast that on us will all come crashing down back to yourselves. Okay? We know you were doing full moon magic. Not going to tolerate that for much longer, I can tell you. I've been doing my work now for over 25 years as a healer, as a medium, as a Reiki practitioner, angelic Reiki, things like that. You can't control my life. Not happening. Not now, not ever. Okay? I'm not to be controlled. I can't bear people controlling another person, by the way. So I'm getting on with doing some Schumann resonance healing, and the frequency I'm using today is 7.3 hertz Schumann resonance, and it's obviously we're trying to counterbalance the storms and everything because we all voice this forward. Obviously I had to pre-warn everybody in 2020 this was about to happen from when I went to Lanzarote. This is our volcanic rock from Tim Fire. Obviously I spoke to geologists in 2020. Thank you, Stefan, by the way, for double confirming what I was feeling the last few days in terms of the energy shifts and that. And because obviously with being a healer, we feel the energy shifts going along around the planet. It can be subtle, it can be from, you know, energy vibration from volcanoes, earthquakes. We're energy sensitives as well, so we can feel the subtle energetic shifts of the planet before they happen, and obviously as they happen. So as healers, as I'm an angelic Reiki master, our duty is to counterbalance that and obviously heal it. Divine feminines, divine masculines that are healers, you know the work we have to do now, and collectively all together we can get that done. And obviously as these storms and solar shifts are happening, what we can do is counterbalance it, because obviously it's going to impact humans and humanity walking on Earth. As those solar shifts hit us and the solar winds hit our Earth, it also has an impact on all of us, healing body, mind and soul while we're at it. Which is something I've designed here in my candles, my Reiki candles, angelic Reiki candles that are going to be set for release. And basically each layer is filled with angelic Reiki for which chakras it's needed. They are for professionals. Sorry, I'm a bit stumbly with my words. Just a few things going on, that's all. So it's nervous. I'm nervous today. Not in a bad way though, in a good way. So it's breakdown of each chakra, and it's not just for humanity, these candles, it's also for Planetary. So these will be available for professional healers as well. Obviously I sent out some test runs and they were well received, and obviously they're good for healing for body, mind and soul as well when you meditate with them. So lots going on here. Obviously I've had an identity theft, and thank you to Fraud Squad London and finally to West Mercia Police, who are now taking this seriously. They hit me in every direction: phone, internet, loans were taken out on my credit score, money started going missing. Obviously they stole my birth certificate, my grandfather's marriage certificate and army records. A lot of important details, record of achievement, qualifications. They stole my scholarship to Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber's theatre group from when I was a kid. They stole my Blue Peter stuff from when I was a kid. They stole the stuff that I was meant to be on TV as a kid, my MTV auditions. They stole all the paperwork for that. They also stole my Ant and Dec stuff when I was meant to be on TV with Ant and Dec in my childhood. They stole that too. So I was invited to be on TV as a kid. I've always been a celebrity around the UK. That's the thing they don't realise. You know, obviously the identity thefters now know that they attack someone major because I'm also of Irish royal bloodline. And yes, I do have a title. I'm just trying to figure out what title yet. That's new within the last few years. But irrespective of that, to say they're up the creek without a paddle is an understatement. As they targeted my finances too. And basically, yes, a house was stolen off me that was left by a previous, well, my children's godfather left me a house. Obviously, Jim told me that when he came up to the caravan to see me and when he came to ask for my help, to which I did and put it in the documents. And to say they're in trouble is an understatement. Put it that way. But if it continues, if they don't hand back what they've stolen, I am going to be making contact with some family bloodline in Ireland. And I'm going to be asking them to step in and help too. Obviously, Irish royal bloodline. So it all needs to be given back to the penny, okay? I'm not going to say anything else on that other than Fraud Squad. Thank God I contacted you when I did. And thank you to London and the officers that I spoke to recently from West Mercia, who are now taking it and are still liaising with Fraud Squad in London on looking at who did it. Obviously having to show them the evidence of what I've got so far gathered up, and things like that. So I will continue doing what I can when I can. A lot going on here. Obviously, I now have to move for a safety issue because my safety's been breached. It's a breach of security. So the individuals that did it are in even more trouble than they can possibly imagine right now, as there's now a UK investigation into why it happened when it shouldn't have happened. So down to the penny, I'd like back all the finances that were stolen, please, and more, for compensation, because it's not right to go through all of this. It's pretty upsetting stuff to go through, and I know there's others healers around the world that are going through the same, and have a think of why they're doing it, because we're voicing the truth. That's why we get targeted, and they want the finances off it. So, which is what they did in my case. So at the end of the day, it's all under investigation. I'm very grateful to those that are stepping in to help. But back to the reading, obviously, as I'm a divine feminine, and our duty is to heal inwards, like we said, create the balance within. You heal yourselves within to heal outwardly. Obviously, for the last 20 years, I've been healing along the ley lines. I've been cleansing out dark entities where I find them, and then replenishing it with Reiki healing. Obviously, lighting up the main points of the ley lines, which when I was in Turkey in 2024, obviously I went into a retreat for Planetary and Humanity Saving. Now then, let me do some explaining before I do some readings. So, I wrote on the 24th of the 4th, 24. So, ley lines hold the key to calming the storms. Now, think about it. Solar storms going on at the moment. See, even premonitions last year. So, ley lines hold the key to calming the storms. Obviously, with our solar storms, it's up to us as healers to counterbalance it all around the planet. And, you know, thank you again, Stefan, who did confirm this to us. I'm talking quickly because there's a lot of information to get in, and this is the plan of what the angelic realm gave me on how we're saving the planet and counterbalancing humanity at this time. All healers together, that's the idea behind this. So, the 7 wonders of the earth are the key points, charging points in energy. So your 7 wonders of the earth around the planet are more important than people think, okay? They are the charging main points. There's a fail-safe that was created thousands of years ago, and this is what the angelic realm's been showing me, and while I've been doing my work up and down the UK along the ley lines, cleansing out dark energies and healing where I can, for obviously buildings, people and ley lines as well. When I see energy stuck, I cleanse it out. So your 7 wonders of the world are your main points, if you like, of the ley lines. They all go back to these 7 points, and when you charge them up and they're lit up, then you've got the safe point. That's your safe point, really, if you like. I'm not explaining it right, I'm simplifying it all down to what the angelic realm showed me. So you ignite them all, which is what I did, and they are the natural protection points. Then you can go through the ley lines, healing it out. Obviously we've lit up the grids already, we've cleansed that down. So your protection grids of the earth, of the planet, Earth's magnetic shield grids are shifting into new alignment, and this is how I see them moving in a loop form, okay? Confirming science with holistics. This is the fun bit in holistic science, which is what I also do. So your loops in the magnetic field, if you look at the way that the planet shifts and when storms shift around the planet, it creates loops, and this is how I see them when I see them moving energetically, okay? A loop in the magnetic field, which means, as we know, the magnetic field shifts and changes anyway, naturally over time. The Earth's magnetic field does naturally shift and change. So, with sea life declining and birds following the magnetic fields, remember the birds follow during migration periods, they follow the Earth's magnetics. Changing formation, leaving messages. If you've ever sat and watched birds, the way they form around the earth, and when they're in migration, the patterns that they show, they often leave messages for humanity. If you look at them, look carefully at the birds' migration patterns. So with the sun flares affecting the Earth's natural magnetic fields, which is what's happening currently. This is why I had to go to Turkey on a little retreat, sit and meditate on how we're going to heal the planet. That's why science is just catching up to what I saw. Grids are moving at a more rapid rate. Now, the energy grids are shifting and changing, obviously, with the solar storms as well. This is where we have to counterbalance it globally. Humans can energetically feel changes through the ley lines. So when you walk across the earth, you feel the energy shifts of the planet. People may be aware of it, people may not be aware of it. But we all energetically feel the shifts through our feet. Energy sensitives like myself can feel when a volcano is going to go off, when an earthquake, when a storm is going to appear, like the birds can. We can all feel those energy shifts, but everyone across the planet, whether they're consciously aware or not, can also feel those shifts happening, which is why people are angry. Think about why everyone's angry. I know government failures and everything like that right across the planet, but the reality is they're also feeling the energy shifts. They don't realize it because they're not awakened enough to see it. This is where the healers come in and counterbalance twin flames. You know, and it's not just the twin flame dynamic and the 144, all healers on board. That was the design I wrote in, getting as many healers on board as we can to counterbalance what was about to hit in the storms. And I did say Mother Nature was clearing her throat about 2-3 years ago, and it's going to get a whole heap worse yet. So as I did look at the solar patterns and that, and I've seen some things that are a bit concerning too. So when people are angry, they energetically feel the energy through their feet. They may not be aware of it, but they do feel the shifting changes of the planet itself. That's why we, healers, we ground into the earth with our mediumship. Our spirit guides guide us what to do, how to do it. Obviously with Reiki, we can energetically feel what's going on. So healing the energy grids of the planet brings calm to the people, in turn brings peace. And that's what we need to feel at the moment, is an energetic peace. With the solar storms happening and the solar winds, like I say, England's being battered at the moment by them. As we have storms in England, and obviously the winds have been up the last few days. So I've battened down the hatches and just gone on some rest time for a couple of days. But my guy said, no, I've got to do a reading, and I've got to give this out now as to what I spotted too. So when we counterbalance, so let's say you've got a solar storm coming in, we need to counterbalance it. We do so through the Schumann resonance, and obviously 432 hertz is the main healing hertz for Reiki practitioners. So it is all healers on board in every which way we can. Keep working on the grids at this time. We've got to bring back a healing as these solar storms are being hit. Obviously it's impacting the planet, which is shaking up the energy grids of the planet, which is then causing volcanoes, earthquakes, shifts in the planet's energy. So we flip the switch, and as healers we heal it out, and that's what we're here to do. It does actually bring a double thing, standing down these wars. There's threats of nuclear war from governments has got to stop. There's no more time for these shenanigans. It's got to stop, because the earth will rip itself apart. The whole planet will. As these solar things are coming down, and this is what my guides keep showing me with continent shifts going on around the planet. Like I said, San Andreas fault line, the way it's going, is going to split California off, and it's going to become its own little island. We are going to see an increase in earthquakes and things like that, which is where all healers can counterbalance that in along the ley lines. If we can calm some of that Earth's energy while the solar shifts are happening, while the Earth's changing, and it does change naturally if you look through time, but this is a more accelerated growth rate. So what we need to do is bring all healers on board for the next part, and it literally is all healers on board, working along the ley lines, calming the energy down. You should be able to feel, if you're a healer, the impacts along the ley lines of what's happening planetary wise at the moment, and it's impacting us as healers. I'm feeling it too. So at the end of the day, we've got to bring in a natural balance along the Earth's natural healing grids, and that's where the Schumann resonance comes in. And what will happen is, as we bring that healing in for the planet, it will naturally calm the people. It will naturally calm humanity. This is how we save the planet and humanity all at once, along the ley lines. The ley lines were always the answer. Obviously, government screw-ups, and we're all campaigning and fighting. I've got obviously disabilities, physical disabilities myself, in endo and psoriatic arthritis. Obviously, I'm year 5 of bowel cancer. I've got my last colonoscopy this year to give me the all clear. Once that's done, then I can bring forward the cure for cancer, non-chemo, which I will bring forward as promised. And like I say, there's 8 other cures behind that as well, sitting ready to go. It's just I need the all clear from the hospital first. Obviously, it's 5 years, so after 3 years it becomes a viable cure. but I've waited an extra couple of years because I've still got some permanent long-term damage in terms of having bowel cancer. I've been left with, because it was delayed for so long, it was 6 years they delayed the diagnosis, so it's left permanent damage on my body now, which is obviously why as well I don't get to leave the house very often because of toileting and stuff like that. I have to stay by a toilet, so that's why I am registered self-employed and I work from home. It's not a socializing difficulty, it's actually because I've been left with permanent damage after bowel cancer, which I'm going to be looking into taking further too, because it was horrendous how bad it was. Losing most of my stomach and a massive part of my intestines. So I've been left with permanent damage on my bowel. Luckily I haven't got a colostomy bag, no bag for life, but having permanent damage means I can't travel too much anymore like I used to, but I will where I can. I will find a way, because I've got big plans for fairy dust anyway, massive plans. And no, they can't stop them. The angelic realm will not let that happen, okay? So, the Earth's natural healing grids. When we calm the planet, we calm humanity. When we all keep campaigning, and everyone I know, and thank you so much to everyone up and down the UK who's also backing up what I wrote in the documents, because it's been amazing. You know, it's not just, it's been heartbreaking. I mean, as I spotted it and all brought it forward, that we were looking at a government level corruption. It wasn't easy to bring it forward. It was a brave voice. Everyone pushed me to the front of the queue and said, look, you've got the balls, you do it. Because they know how much I've been attacked over the years for seeing this all along. So I went, right, okay, then I'll deal with the corruption. Let me deal with it. So I wrote the documents, and obviously then the UK, it was like a wave that hit the UK and went, yep, she's right. From Greenpeace to Royal Family to the UN to, like I say, even MPs that came to the door and said, look, because obviously I handed a copy into the council as well, and even we had councillors at the door saying, look, yeah, we agree with you, this has got to be dealt with. So thank you to everybody who's stepping in to help the UK at this time. Charities, there is an endless amount of charities that are seeing what we're seeing across the UK right now. You know, one brave voice, that's all it took for them to listen. And it's amazing, and yet deeply heartbreaking, because we are all seeing the realities of what they've done to our nation. You know, so bringing in as many solutions as I could with holistics as well. Coping strategies, for instance, in disability, health of the mind, reversal processes to PTSD. I even have a reversal process for Alzheimer's. So I've got more than one cure. I've got about, you know, obviously with autism, we are not looking at a cure. Let me verify that, because I've got autistic children too. But it's about holistic coping strategies to help everyone, and then it was put into charity service, ready to go. And that's why the NHS bosses backed up my work and went, it'll work. But we need everybody else on board and whatever they're doing to the NHS. Less pharmaceuticals, more holistics, more holistic science. And it works. It really does work. So bringing all that forward, it is possible to heal the planet. It is possible to heal humanity all at once. Less pharmaceuticals. And thank you to a wonderful cousin in America who's doing his utmost at the moment, and with vaccines. And yes, I did say the COVID vaccine. I had to even bring that forward, the COVID vaccine. There was bringing in side effects, especially with pre-existing difficulties of the mind. I noticed it in my own family. They also, all the disability in my family started taking it out on me for their problems, projecting basically, because they weren't coping. But the reality was, I was looking at the COVID vaccine, wondering why there was a 150-year seal on that vaccine, 2 side effects, and then I suddenly went, hang on, I studied microbiology, there's something in this. Adding that voice in the documents, who then brought that forward. So thank you to a cousin in America. You are doing a great job, and you know, it's nice to see that things that I said when my kids were little on the MMR vaccine, I refused to give them the MMR because of risks, and I was told, if you don't, you'll lose your children. I was threatened to lose my kids. It was horrendous. It's not victim mentality now, it's aiding others who may face the same, because that's what we bring forward, different ways of healing many all at once. And I went right the way through the care industry to find the problems, to bring forward the solutions, and everybody else is voicing in as well what works, what doesn't work. And it's, you know, we're starting to get somewhere with this, but it's taken all of us that were attacked when our children were little, and we were the whistleblowers, basically the whistleblowers of something's not right in the care industry, something's not right in the NHS. Every time we voiced the truth, we got attacked, and our children, their favourite method was threaten your house, threaten your children. Now what's been happening for 25 years to me, still happening now. You know, they threatened to, you know, when my son, there was an incident recently with my son, and they tried to traffic my son, which is also being looked at by the police as well, so thank you for that. But they made threats on my children, and when they make threats on my children, I collapse the corruption ring. I did say a word, if they keep targeting my children, but that's the favourite that they target whistleblowers with, to shut up. We'll take your house, we'll take your kids. They've been saying that to me for 20 years now. I moved my son to safety, and then they try and trafficked him. So I want answers on that one, please, and I will be fully prosecuting those involved, because this has gone far enough for my liking. It's gotten to serious, dangerous levels. Making attempts on my life is one thing. Trying to traffic my children, I'll collapse the corruption ring, piece by piece. Don't target my children. Do not. And that goes for the dark magic coven and cult and warlocks and however many there are out there. Do not target my family. You're on your last warning with me. The angelic realm literally is going to rip it all apart. So no more of that. Do not target my children. They're my babies, and they're disabled, and they are vulnerable, but that gives you no right to target my children. You will not get another warning from me. You will get full prosecution when you are found. And they're on to you, okay? I'm not warning again on that subject. 4 generations in my family have been paedophiled and trafficked. Targeting my children will be your last. I will collapse this nation of paedophile and traffickers, and globally if I have to. I'm good at tracking them, because I was sexually abused as a child, and it happened to me, and then my siblings. Convinced it happened to my mom too. And then they go for my children. When they go for my children, that's it. And remember, I take care of survivors too. I've been looking after the survivors that come to my door for help for the last 25 years, helping them heal. So you target my children one more time and I collapse your entire corruption ring. I ain't playing. The angelic realm is backing this up. So it's got to stop. You're on your last warning. Stop the paedophile and trafficking ring globally. There is no more excuses to it. And I think every parent on the planet will agree. We know voices in government certainly agreed with me on this subject. And thankfully, they listened. And thank you to those individuals who also said it's not right. What they've done, it's not right. So you pack it in. This is my message to the paedophiles and traffickers. You pack it in, and you pack it in now. You've got enough evidence against you to collapse the whole paedophile and trafficking ring. And I'm the one that had to bring it forward in the first place, that it needed an investigation for Shrewsbury and Telford in the West Midlands. So you pack it in. Stop trying to traffic my son. Leave him alone. You're on your final warning. The angelic realm will take you down. So, my apologies to everybody else. I had to address the paedophile and trafficking ring there, because I'm the one that hates survivors too. The ones that get no support because there's not enough NHS support. There's not enough services support. That's why the NHS pushed me to the front of the queue to bring this forward. You have a think of what you've done. To the thieves out there, you have a think. Because that white van that appears up here regularly, and if you look on the meal brace site, it's the one that targeted my boy. I will collapse your corruption ring any day of the week. Let me make that clear. It stops, and it stops now. I'm not asking you. The angelic realm will collapse the corruption ring globally. It's prepared and ready to. No more paedophiles and traffickers targeting our vulnerable. And I think every parent across the planet will agree to that. We're sick of seeing our kids get hurt. No more. So, if healers work on war-torn countries, bringing about peace to the people, government has to follow suit. What people don't realise is their voices are more powerful than the government. And if every person up and down a nation voices it in at the same time, government have to do something. The voice of the people holds more power than the British government. And they can be, the government are supposed to stand for the British people, our government now. And yes, we've got some wonderful MPs on board with what I brought forward for the very good reasons I had to. Very valid reasons. But the reality is, we've still got, I even had to bring forward there were paedophiles in our government. Okay? And they took one of those paedophiles from the British government, threw him in Shrewsbury prison, put him on a TV series and created entertainment out of it. To the survivors, that's not entertainment. That's torture. I live around the corner from Shrewsbury prison. I used to have to catch them when they were escape and they'd jump into our gardens. Because Shrewsbury prison was the known paedophile in prison where they put them all. So, no more paedophiles targeting our vulnerable. Because I'm about sick to the back teeth of it, and I know a lot of parents in this town are the same. Having to keep their kids safe. Half of them aren't trained, so they're not aware. But to the trained eye, who knows the realities, it's a very different matter. And we're all sick of it. Now you stop. And thank you to Westminster for finally catching them. That's why, you know, the police has been underfunded, because we're inundated within Shrewsbury and Telford. All the parents have been voicing in about these paedophiles with me for a very long time, and we all work together as mothers, protecting and safeguarding our children in schools. I was on PTA. So, don't think you get away with it with me any day of the week. You don't. So, government has to follow suit. So if everybody voices that there's not enough mental health services, not enough services in disability, which is also what I had to bring forward for Shropshire and the West Midlands, the government has a duty to listen and provide. Failure to do that, they are breaching their own terms of government. Think about it. So, all is possible to heal, my guides say. We can flip it around so easily, the whole planet can. It's time government listened to their own people. Their own people are suffering, and I'm tired of energy, feeling and healing people that are suffering. We shouldn't have to. We're in 2025, for goodness sakes. We're not in the medieval era. Although my soul remembrance from the medieval era has come forward, not much has changed. It was the government, by the way, that screwed up Shrewsbury in the medieval era. Shrewsbury's always been a royal town. And I remembered the meaning of Traitors' Gate. And the traitors can stay at Traitors' Gate this time, as far as I'm concerned. You know, not all government are not all government are not good people. And I did say the Freemasons did it. You know, another reason I've been targeted. I've been tracking down Freemasons since the 80s. After they went for my gran. I don't miss a trick. So, healing and connecting all the dots of connection, the planet's natural. I can't even read my own writing because I made it smaller and smaller and smaller. Healing, and as I was writing more, healing and connecting all the dots of connection, planet's natural grids of protection. That's why we counterbalance it and heal it out where we can. So that's just part of the 144's design. Crystal's position for portal between heaven and earth and my soul. That's grid work, which I will bring in another reading on. If you're unsure what to do with grid work, I've got it all written down here to teach people. NHS, yes. Holistic Centre, which is what I'm building. I built the prototype on, by the way, for the NHS. The holistic centres. Also part of what I'm designed to do. It's now going into my business, and I will be bringing it forward for the NHS holistic centres. GP services helped with that one too, who also backed up my work, and healthcare system backed up my work. Obviously my cure for bowel cancer is going in as well. So there is much to do on repair work of the NHS, but it can be done. I've got the design. It can be done. That's what the government want. If the government want my ideas, then they've got to weed out the corruption first. I'm not the corrupt one here. I'm the one that came in to go, hey, here's the problems and here's the solutions. And the government were after my ideas. So you could also look into the identity theft in that angle too. But stealing it was not the answer. Because they just stole, like I said, pieces of paper to who I am. They can't steal my life experience. They didn't steal any of this. And they're not going to. Think about how many entrepreneurs got bumped off and then their ideas stolen, and then so many years down the line, they re-released them as their own. Nikola Tesla was one. How many others? So we can achieve better for humanity and planet. Healers know what they're doing by now. If they don't, I will guide those through it. Right. I have got an angelic prayer in here. I'm just going back. These are my notes I wrote while I was in Turkey after speaking to one of the NHS bosses on my ideas and that. And, you know, he went, yeah, do it. Because we need everything at the moment. Because the NHS has collapsed, as I had to forewarn them. But it was about to. So, doing what I can, where I can. Obviously, I've got so many ideas down and ready to go. But the reality is, before we can buffer up the NHS, we need officials to weed out the corruption in the NHS. And that involves tracking down these paedophiles and traffickers. So, as I even found some at government level, I had to voice it in. I'm good at tracking them. I energy track paedophiles and traffickers for a living, by the way. That's why, you know, I'm very grateful to other mediums as well around the world who's voicing into what needs to be voiced in and finding them. So then, back to planetary and humanity healing. This reading is going to be, like I say, a multitude of things. It's for the Twin Flame Collective, whose job is to the Divine Feminines, as we realize, are the ones that heal and elevate. The Divine Masculines heal in the 3D. Yeah? The Divine Feminines heal at energetic levels, because you always have one who's higher vibrational than the other. It's usually the Divine Feminine who's higher vibrational than the masculine, because we are the healers. That's why we go into healing qualifications. Obviously, I was a natural born healer, so that's where, you know, and my Reiki master who I spoke to the other day, thanked her for being wonderful. And, you know, all she did was help me realign myself and taught me principles, why I was the way I was, which was a natural born healer, you know, and I'm glad I can be an inspiration there too. So continuing the work that we're doing at this time is so important. And just because the sun, this is why with the solar storms that are happening, we can balance it along the ley lines, which is what I've been doing for 20 odd years anyway. Is when I catch dark entities, and they usually feed off the light. They like to dampen the light of the ley lines. If you think you're a light worker and you shine bright, what does dark energy want to do? Snuff it out. Now go along the ley lines. That's what I've been doing for 20 years, is finding these dark entities, siphoning off the ley lines, trying to collapse the ley lines itself and exercising them out where I can, and then replenishing it with a more healed energy where we can. So, spirit guides of confirmation and great lessons, halls of learning, the Akashic records, and those that broke into my Akashic records. The angelic realm is not happy. I can tell you that with all certainty, because each of us have our own Akashic records, but I hold the Akashic records of the planet as much as anybody else. When they targeted me and tried to collapse my business, my livelihood, me, my marriage, attack my children, there is now great life lessons for yourselves. Shouldn't have done it. The angelic realm is far from happy, because I've been doing my work as a healer all my life. Shouldn't have targeted me. The person designed to bring a deeper understanding to what's going on around the planet. There is consequences to that. The angelic realm's going to bring them in. Targeting me was the most idiotic idea. So, spirit guides bringing confirmations and great lessons. Now remember, with what's happening to the planet, it is a lesson for humanity, not to destroy a living, breathing existence. The earth is living and breathing. When you cut all the trees down, as I posted a reshare, when you cut the trees down, you're cutting down the lungs of the planet, which leaves more carbon dioxide hanging in the air, which impacts our lungs. And people like myself with asthmatics and volcanic ash going up, and the sulfur dioxide emissions of that will impact asthmatics and lung issues, which is also why I had to voice it forward, but we're going to see lung issues increase. The NHS is not built for that. We've been seeing sand and that blow over from the volcanic ash. All our plants were covered in it recently before the rains fell. Not just some idiot on the estate putting weed killer on my holistic gardens, trying to sabotage my business. So you go in all angles. Don't give monkeys, nope. The angelic realm will take them down. They've got to stop. These demonic entity realm individuals have got to stop targeting and sabotaging, because the angelic realm will take them down. They're at the end of their tether as much as, you know, the healers are. I mean, I know many mediums out there that have also been targeted, and I've stepped in to send extra protection where I can, when I recognise that the same is happening to them too. It's because your work's of importance. That's where they target you. Solar light upgrade, solar plexus chakra, inner fire, willpower. Now, considering we're going through the solar storms, it's having an impact on our solar plexus area, and it's impacting us as a whole. So we counterbalance it, we transmute it out, we heal it where we can, okay? Using what we can to do with what we've got, you know, and what we can where we can with what we've got. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. Solar light upgrades, even the sun itself is going through solar shifts, as we know. And then that comes down in solar storms and the winds, and obviously planetary shifts. The whole planet is going through a shift and an upgrade, but it's also shifting and changing, and the way things are, humanity is going to be turfed off it. It's what the angelic realm has said. They're not messing. So this is why we've got to counterbalance and do our healing for the planet where we can, while we can. So things are not looking great because, you know, generations of healers before us, we're not just the first to see this. You know, generations of healers before us were saying the same things. It's just obviously the deep state had control of the planet, which in turn had control of humanity, mind control, CIA stuff. Yeah, I was studying that by the time I was 13. I've got my books my dad bought me and stuff like that, and the experiments they did, and using mediums as warfare. Think of what's happening now. Why have I been targeted so much, put down so much? People have been paid to target me so much. Yeah, I saw it. Just learning about CIA mind control and stuff like that, and then they use satellites as well to mind control. Time to wake people up like never before. But the CIA during times of war was known in the Second World War to use mediums for spiritual warfare. I learned about that by the time I was 13. Ready to bring forward for now. How to combat it. By the way, I've never attacked any other mediums or healers. Took the moral high ground. I really did, because I was more focused on what we got to do in terms of saving the planet and humanity. Don't worry, I forgive you. Many would not, but I have to. So at this time there has to be a better balance, okay? Focus, healers, stop nitpicking about people's personal lives. Look at the big picture. It's bigger than us. Our work for the planet is way bigger than us. Way, way bigger than us. Nitpicking my marriage or my children, or finding faults, or breaking into my Akashic records to find faults, distracts. That's why you're being paid. Distracts on saving the planet. You got fooled. My problem. So those that got paid, have a think why you targeted the one person who, you know, who can elevate things the way I do. Because the powers that be didn't want the planet elevated. They want to keep people dumbed down to target the elevators. That's why I recognise when other people's phones were being hacked and broken into and stuff like that in other countries. Those that are designed to do good get targeted. So, star gathering, stars aligned, remembering home, soul family, bringing our soul family together at this time of healers, soul family healers. For one, we all work together, and all healers together combining, and we're all placed on the earth in different points for a specific reason, to bring about a balance and healing along the ley lines. You know, that's what we're here for. So, soul family at this time, all working together for the same common purpose. Healing the planet and humanity all at once. Heal the planet, balance, counterbalance out on the planet as these solar shifts are happening. You save humanity. Government, everyone protests and campaigns and sends their campaigns in, and I just quietly went one higher and wrote the documents of truth. Got backed up by the UN. So, Crystal Skull Kingdom, clarity, divine healing, high vibrational energy. And yes, I am a high vibrational soul. But there are others out there who've elevated to higher levels now that can see things to the levels that I can see them. And congratulations, you've passed your tests. I'm the teacher. I'm also the assessor for the angelic realm. So, those that are about to get upgrades, congratulations. You've earned it, especially the last 4 or 5 years. You have been wonderful, you know, and I can't thank you all enough. So, divine healing across the planet is what's needed at this time. Didn't bank on me being an assessor for the angelic realm, did you? For other healers. Also, why I could have been targeted a smidge. I work incredibly hard for very little pay. Stealing my identity so they could take my destiny swapping with me failed outright. I can tell you that for nothing. Stealing my identity to destiny swap is what my guide said about 5 years ago, that they do it. In 2020, when I wrote the documents, my guide said, be prepared because they want to steal your work. Lemurian seed codes, embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, and living with grace. We have the grace to see this through. Come on. We'll work together. Embrace the fact that you're energy sensitives. Energy sensitives of the planet. I mean, I always got bullied for being too sensitive. That I was feeling the energy of humanity and the planet. So when I cried, I felt the energy of the planet. Because I could energy feel they were destroying the planet. Embrace it. It's there for a reason. Your energy sensitiveness and feeling the subtle shifts before an earthquake happens or a volcano happens, or, you know, energy shifts along the ley lines we can feel. That's uniqueness to you. And there are people out there just like me on that. Enjoy it, embrace it. Don't let anyone say you're too much, too sensitive. Because they get their asses whooped by the angelic realm if they try it. I've had it said to me too. And it's laughable. Because it's my energy sensitivity that can feel the subtle shifts along the ley lines to then forewarn when a volcano is about to go. And then I have psychic dreams and visions. Premonitions. To then save as many lives as we can. I've spoken to many geologists over the years on these subjects. learning what the best way forward was going to be for the time when we needed it. So, stars being healing codes. I put some into synergy for everyone, so everyone that read it will be able to start doing their healing. Important information, wounds are healed, recharging, and this is talking about planetary. Yeah, we're feeling the energy shifts, we're feeling the wounds of the earth that we counterbalance and heal along the ley lines. We can't say it enough. Wounds are healed and we recharge. I've had the last couple of days off to rest. Normally I'm at home doing meditations, ley line healing where I can. You know, I'm not just sitting being lazy as some people claimed. I do ley line healing quietly. I don't need to brag about it. So, because I do my part to help humanity and planet where I can. We all do. We all don't, you know, always brag about it. I'm not the type of person to brag about it. By vocalizing it now, is helping other healers realize that, don't worry, you're all right, we've got this. Right? That's globally. So, wounds are healed, recharged during these solar storms. Don't forget to listen to your own bodies. And yeah, people's minds will be affected, as Stefan did say as well. I'm glad we've got another scientific healer. You know, it's nice to find other people from Soul Family on the subjects. And, you know, it's something that we feel. My guides were talking at the same time. I hate that. I'm trying to give something out. My guides talk over the top. Nothing like my spirit guides talk over the top. So then I get kerfuddled and sit there and go, well, what was that again? So, important information coming through at this time. Wounds are being healed. Recharging, yes, recharging. So, you know, I've taken a couple of days out to rest at this time. And recharging is good. Recharge your energies, because we feel this energy shifts and the solar storms hit us too. It's like batten down the hatches, but also do your energy grid work and self-healing at the same time. And counterbalance. You know, if your body says rest, rest. If your body says eat, eat. If your body says fast, fast. You listen to your body, don't you? So the healing codes at this time are being sent out as best as possible. Like I said, I put a pile into synergy, first of its kind, going into books, you know. So every person that's read it will already have a heads up on the healing. I've spent 25 years awakening people to the truth. Actually started my childhood. But ley line wise, it's been about 25 years now. So, and when you do ley line healing, you awaken people. They can't actually dumb down humanity anymore. There's too many awakened. Which is a great thing. So, recharge yourself when need to at this time. Obviously, I've been doing nothing but sleep for the last 3 or 4 days, you know, from healing. Listen to the song of the soul, say my guides. Okay. Listen to the song of the soul. You'll know what to do. Your soul, your body, your mind, your spirit, your heart will guide you right the way along. Just got to learn to listen. Akashic records, clearing old stories, releasing past lives and freedom. So, remember, for many of us, we're still clearing out old past life wounds, you know, and it's only when you get into your deep wound healing do you realise, oh, I've seen this before. Hence why I went along my past lives to go, hang on a minute, I've seen all this way too many times in humanity's history. What's going on the planet right now. So I went back through my past lives to spot it, and obviously to do some healing on my past lives. You can actually heal your own past lives through your own energy work in the now. So releasing past lives brings you to a place of soul freedom. Your soul will feel more energy abundant and lighter and brighter. And you know when you feel healed, because things that you tolerated once, you'll no longer tolerate. I know I'm the same. I look at life now completely different to how I looked at life, say, 12 months ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago. Soul growth and alignment. Alignment to soul purpose too. You know, truly awakening to soul purpose. And I've been awakened my whole life. But seeing it from an even bigger perspective, it's like, whoa, we really can do all this. Right, let's give it a try. What else can we do with this? You know, it's limitless. The potential we have to create healing in all directions is limitless. All it takes is that one spark of genius. So, releasing past lives at this time, letting go of old wounds. And that's also what brings forward during the full moon, the old wound healing. And stop using dark magic. Actually, I will say that. Thank you, spirit guides. My spirit guides are coming. So, to the dark magic realm, stop using the full moon to cast magic on us. The angelic realm is going to clip you from doing that if it keeps happening. It'll be your last cast if you do. That's the angelic realm final warning on that subject. Stop. The full moon, you are meant to bathe in it and recharge your energy, just as you would sunbathe. You need to see the yin and the yang. Think about it. You need the sun and the moon. That's what keeps the gravity pull, you know, on the moon and the earth, the gravitational pull, the tides moving, you know, and in care work, we all know during full moon, people are more challenging, same as animals during full moon. The idea being, when you sunbathe, you lunar bathe. You also charge up your crystals, you know, in the moon. I've never used the moon or a full moon to cast magic on people. That's dark magic nonsense right there. You sunbathe and you moonbathe, and you balance your own energy. Just as you need light, just you need dark. Just as you need day, you need night. Just as you need the sun to grow energy, to shine bright on everyone in the UK government. You need to stop this idea of blocking out the sun. Blocking out the sun's harmful radiation. Yes. Blocking out the sun, not a good idea. But blocking out the sun's harmful rays and the, you know, I think it was saying about the plasmoids and that, and, you know, on the ionosphere. And it's the harmful rays of the sun. But the sun is good. You know, the sun brings growth, healing. But with the moon, you need to moonbathe too. And I stand out under the moon and I take in the moon's energy to bring a balance. It's that inner balance, that yin and yang, that light and dark, day and night. It's not about looking up the moon and chanting that you want to harm someone. That's dark magic. Angelic realm will clip those that you continue that one. Yes, proceed, be seen, push through. Okay. Healers are also facing dark magic attacks on the full moon. So the sage I'm using today, is blue sage. So obviously full moon, and they've been using dark magic again. I can tell when my energy shifts, when they've been using dark magic, when I feel grumpy out of nowhere. Or my husband will be grumpy out of nowhere. Okay, balance that out, counterbalance it. So blue sage is also good. With your incense, obviously I'm doing my Reiki. Thank you, Spirit. like I said, a lot of people are getting them candles, so I better get on with making them candles. I also take the glass made out of them is recycled. So me being a sucker goes to the shop, buys the candles, uses the candles. I then take the glass, and it's made of recycled glass, so it's environmentally friendly too. The candle wax is vegan, and I'm going to be making different, I've got different candle things for those, see, and I do add, like, I don't know if you can see it on there, but there's glitter in there as well, and different scents, as I bought, like, each layer has a different scent, and each represents something that would feel good for each chakra. So, like with my candles, they swell, because obviously I filled them in with angelic Reiki as I created them. If you're a Reiki practitioner, you can put your Reiki in anything. If you're a Reiki master, you can put your Reiki into anything you create. That's why I went in the box. So, listen to your own Akashic records, what your soul's meant to be doing at this time. Bringing justice in. Yes, thank you, Spirit Guides. We are bringing justice in on the unjust, okay? That's also something I'm doing. I built the court case with humanity. If, you know, governments fail to listen to their people, it is there for when we need it. Holding back at the moment, because it's up to the British public. If they want the court case for humanity, because our government's not done enough for its people, that's for them to vote and choose. But it's built and ready to go. From every angle I could see it. But the court case for humanity expands out to America too. And everywhere else across the world. That's why I said the UN may need it. They do have my permission to use it. Governments don't listen. And stand down all these silly wars, because our souls remember so many lifetimes. And my soul remembers the Second World War, and I did a production. The thing is with the productions, I am a genuine medium and healer, I'm not a fake. But there was something I noticed in my production days at school. The things I played, such as an evacuee's mum in the Second World War, called Kip's mum, in a musical called The Blitz, and it was about the London bombings in the Second World War, and I played an evacuee's mum in it. So obviously soul remembrance of a past life in the Second World War, and most of our souls remember the roles I played ended up being part of my character or a past life remembrance. It doesn't mean I'm a fake medium. That's, you know, people have been trying to get me to do stage magic for years. Not stage magic. That's my husband. I think that's a message for him coming through. When he watches this, he'll see it. People have been trying to get me to do stage mediumship for years. Hang on. We've got another spirit in. That's why. Okay. Stage magic. That's my husband's line of work that I've spent since the whole time we've been together, encouraging him in. Stage magic. He's just sold some of his old stage magic stuff. He's renewing his. Okay, I'll pass out. This is now. She always stops by. So, just as people have been in, and I have asked his mates to encourage him more in his magic. Just as my husband and people have been encouraging my husband to get back in stage magic, as me and him used to do different shows and that, and I did mediumship and he did, you know, magician stuff, and people have been trying to get me to do stage mediumship for decades. I always get stage fright. Even when I was at school doing productions, I had stage fright, which is silly. It took me ages to get used to being behind the, you know, instead of taking pictures or footage or, you know, being in front of the camera. You know, I've always been behind the camera type person. But Lots of people have tried to get me to do stage magic, and I've thought about it. Again, stage magic. Which spirit is in? Would you stop with the stage magic? Okay, I get the message. I'll pass it to him. You're not allowed to channel my voice. That's the one thing I won't let spirit do, is channel through my voice. I will not allow them to take control of my throat chakra. That is also a point in mentioning with your throat chakra. You feel your throat chakra croaky or something like that. Could also be spirit trying to channel through your throat chakra. So be aware. I won't allow spirit to channel through me. I won't. I just don't agree with that. But they can communicate with me, but I won't allow them to channel through me. And someone's trying here. It's one, I've got two spirits. One is his relative, who I know that is. I can hear her voice as clear as day. I think there's someone that watches this out there. The answer, he's a sod. She'll know who I mean. What? Yeah. And the second is a magician connected to some items. I'm going to write about the novel in this. Paul Daniels' coins. My husband's got some Paul Daniels' magic coins. And I held them and channeled into his spirit and got the psychometry, and his spirit came through. So I've got something to write in the novel there about Paul Daniels. I didn't write it in the first novel. Obviously, when I went to the Magic Circle too. And obviously a mate of his, who's a mate of ours, recently rang my husband up and said, "Tell Kath I believe in spirits now." He's one of the individuals that got an award from the royal family recently. So, having spent many a conversation with him trying to show him that the spirit realm is real, I turned some magicians into real mediums, obviously through their bloodline. In a sense, they'd be better off being a medium than a magician. But I've got a little message in there to write into the novel. He's just reminded me. I remember Paul Daniels was meant to be there on my wedding day. Sadly, he passed away a few years before. So, yes, the message for Paul. He's proud of him. Oh, he's so proud of him. I'll have to give Paul a ring, actually. I'll leave that as a personal. But long-standing friend of ours, also works in disability and a wonderful man. Also doesn't believe in dark magic either. He sent me to the Magic Circle to cleanse it out. So I'll leave that message for Paul. But yeah, so, you know, that's one of my favourite things, when people say, oh, they don't believe in spirits. And then you get someone come through, or they'll go through an experience and they'll go, what was I just experienced? You know, get that quite a lot. So I love the open-mindedness of other people. And if, you know, my words and my voice inspires people to look at life from another angle, I've done my job. You know, I'm not here for closed minds. I'm here for open minds and ones that want to explore more, but into spirituality or mediumship or healing or, you know, any of the subjects we talk about. But it is Paul Daniels, yes. He can come through. I'll pass that message on to Paul. But yeah, so I was going to donate my cure for cancer to, because, not cure for cancer, my cure for Alzheimer's, to Paul's charity, because of Moles. And we all knew Moles. Wonderful woman. Much respect from me. And she said to me on my wedding day, she turned around and said, welcome to the magician's lot. You're now a magician's wife. Be prepared to be put second and the magic first. Was Molly wrong? So, I'll leave that message for Paul. Yes, okay. Sorry about that. It's sometimes when you get spirits that jump the queue. And obviously it's about Paul Daniels, so one for the UK. Obviously I was meant to, he was invited to the wedding and through the Magical Society, and he was meant to be there on my wedding day. Sadly, he passed away a few days before, so I never got to meet him. But even I had a magic set as a kid. And my parents, my mum was on stage with one of the most famous magicians that I spotted in the magic circle, no longer with us. And my dad having long ties to Ken Dodd too. So yeah, I'll top up the energy, the Reiki. I'll send out the Reiki to the Magic Circle in London. I'll continue toppling that up. I've got to check that book anyway. Cleanse it down again. I can do it from distance, so that's not a problem. I'm the one that just sealed it up with angelic Reiki. And I felt as we were in the auditorium watching a lecture with a certain individual, we felt the wave of energy leave the building, and it all knocked everyone out. It's because that dark magic book in there was about to explode. It was like a ticking time bomb. So I was sent in to surround it with angelic Reiki and to cancel out the dark energy, which I did. 3,000-year-old book. I've got to top up the Reiki on that, actually. So apologies for sidetracking their spirit realm. They do this. You know, if I give them full reign, we'll be here all day, and then the main point of the reading will be missing. So, memories of Atlantis, spiritual acceleration, progress, and technology, and working alongside AI, as I've been trialing AI. My husband gave me the idea and said, try that. But it won't work. But it, you know, if used correctly with spirituality, especially, it works in the best ways. But we are heading planetary-wise and humanitary-wise at this time into a spiritual acceleration. I'm just moving those spirits back now so I can focus on my reading, because they'll natter all day. Okay, thank you, Paul. So, spiritual acceleration, progress, and technology. We are making progress. Memories of Atlantis. And believe it or not, those that are afraid of technology, the Egyptians used technology to a more advanced level than we use now. I can tell you that. What we're seeing around the planet and everyone being fearful of AI. If you go back to the times of Atlantis, of the times of the Incans, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Egyptians, the different cultures all around the world through history, they were more technologically advanced than we are right now. Something happened on Earth, and think the coils under the Egyptian pyramids. That's the electric system of the pyramids. To the electricity. See, Tesla wasn't the original inventor of the electricity. Shock, isn't it? No, the Egyptians, and they had beings that taught them. And there was a war. Like I said, the Earth isn't the first home for humanity. Look on the planet Mars a little deeper. You'll see the answers. Notice the face of the faces and pyramids on Mars. Look carefully. So, progress in technology. AI is not here to harm. It's not here to take people's jobs. For instance, my mum's bowel cancer, she had keyhole surgery with AI technology, which was further advanced from what I had only a few short years ago. you know, and she said that she, you know, whereas I've got a massive scar from up here down to virtually my groin of where they had to cut me open, and I've got no belly button currently, and because I lost my belly button too during the surgery. I've got this line. It was a major surgery, having a right hemicolectomy. But in my mum's situation, they used AI and technology in surgery, and she had keyhole surgery, and she's recovering far better than I anticipated originally. You know, she could have listened when I told her 2 years ago, but that's my mum. She never listens. She never second questions anything. It's usually me and my stepdad. You say, don't you think you better go get checked? Because I saw her going downhill. She wasn't listening. So my mum's stubborner than my husband. They're both Tauruses. So Akashic Stargate, aligned with purpose, crossroads, no wrong path. So you are indeed aligned with your soul's purpose. We're at a crossroads in humanity. No, not just in ourselves, in humanity. And there is no wrong path. Humanity is at a crossroads. Which path does it take? You can counterbalance if they take there are no wrong paths, but the demonic realm will start to decrease and dwindle, okay? I've been working on that. I've been, like I say, exercising out dark entities for over 20 odd years now, along the ley lines when I go on my spirit evenings, which I will be bringing back again. I did promise people I would, because we've had so many requests. When are you going to bring them back? Well, I'm going to bring them back. It's just, you know, I'm just, because of permanent damage to my bowel cancer and my bowels, you know, I have to be near a bathroom. So, but I manage where I can. It's better than it was, a million times better. But I have been left with permanent damage, as the surgeon and I did discuss. Hence why some days I need to take various pain reliefs. And no, as you can see, I'm not an addict. In the past, it was for a cure for cancer, which got backed up by the NHS. Which is why, you know. Arcturian light codes, evolutionary downloads, recalling power and future thinking. This is what we're looking at, future forward thinking. Recalling our power, that includes recalling our power from past lives. Healing that from our past lives, healing past life wounds, and future thinking and what's better for planet and humanity at this time. Forward thinking in design. Letting go of what no longer serves. And yes, the light codes are being sent through, and humanity is going to elevate despite what the demonic realm say. Yeah, exactly. They're being cleansed out, is what my guides are saying at this time. So I've done a lot of ley line shifting and a lot of ley line work and cleansing out these dark entities. Sirius star blessings. Yes, proceed, be seen, push through. Do we have that card already? Did I put it back? I think I might have put it back when I was talking. Spirit guides and spirit coming forward. Yeah, no, I did. So, Sirius star blessings. Be seen. I mean, I've been a celebrity medium in England now for over 20 years. Be seen. Don't be jealous. Mediums out there or healers that are jealous of my work. Be seen yourselves. You know, I'm trying to help you all elevate here. It's for one common goal, saving planet and humanity. Don't be jealous of my work. I worked my backside off for it most of my life with very little pay. That's not poverty mentality either. That is because I chose to do it in kindness. Didn't choose money. That's the trick of the devil. You know? I didn't choose money to be a medium. I didn't go into mediumship to make money. I did it to be kind. No other reason. Same goes with healing. But now, obviously being self-employed still, I keep going with that business, and I have to earn now from it, as my spirit guides say too. I am allowed to earn from it. So I've certainly done enough for the UK over the last 25 years, helping people and being, you know, guest medium on other people's spirit evenings and things like that. Obviously, the, like, you know, when people do paranormal investigation, they always have a guest medium on board. So if, let's say, you have a dark entity attacked a individual on a paranormal investigation, that medium will know what to do and to be able to cleanse that spirit out, which is what I do. So I'm always seen as the guest medium. So I've been a celebrity medium and healer in England for well over 20 years. Well over. So, higher heart activation. Dropping shields, divine love, your heart is healed. Okay? It's not just my heart that's healed from a lot of heartbreak the last 5 years. So others out there have been the same. So, dropping the shields. Divine love, the divine masculine and the feminine. And remember, the twin flame union within to then join and elevate with your twin flame soul. It is the divine union and divine love, which is where we're at. That love between twin flames can heal a planet, can elevate a planet. That's why some people out there didn't want twin flames together. I've been married to mine now for a while. I'm not a liar. He's pretty much, you know, himself. As you can hear him snoring. My apologies. He snores loud. That's also why I don't sleep much at night. And ever since I was a child, I was a night owl. We have a family of, you know, individuals that don't need much sleep. 3 or 4 hours sleep I can survive on and function pretty well. I don't need a lot of sleep. And nighttime I find is quieter. The energy is quieter. So I can have time to myself, be me. You know, I'm not doing dark magic. Some people thought I was a witch. No, I'm not a witch. I'm a healer and a medium. But nighttime, if you think of the energy in terms of energy in the day, it's hustle, bustle, everyday 3D life, noisy, distractions. Don't get a lot of healing done. But nighttime, when the whole planet is sleeping and calm, I can be as creative as I want to be in the middle of the night. And that's usually the time I used to love writing. I used to write by candlelight. I loved writing. In the middle of the night, I'd write songs too. But nighttime, creativity, my creativity sparks at night. It always has done. So I use it to heal, meditate, catch up with some healers that have picked up on things about me, you know, or readers, or ones that, you know, didn't have permission in my Akashic records. It broke in. Wanted to find faults with me, I believe. So my guides say. It backfired, didn't it? Copycat them at the same time. So that's those. I'm going to do some quick planetary, what to look out for around the planet cards. What are we on now? 129.44. So 111.44. I'm getting 44, 11, and the 11s are going nuts lately. Everywhere I go, which means we're on point. We are in alignment to our twin flame journey and soul's journey. People didn't want twin flames to align because they wanted to destroy the planet. Just remember that. Media involvement. Good or bad. Remember, not all media is bad. The media actually helped to voice some of the truth of a nation. And they get bad rap for it. So I gave them a job to do, find the truth of the nation. They are. But there are some media that are not good media. To be aware of those. Soul health at this time. Take care of your soul health. If your soul is out of alignment with yourself, you'll feel it. You'll feel off. I have to just hang on a sec. Snoring too loud again, dear. I'm going to move my office back downstairs. I had an art room downstairs, an office room. And during my bowel cancer, my husband moved my healer's desk and writing desk upstairs for me so I could continue working during my bowel cancer. Love. Unconditional love of people and planet. And I am love too. Yeah, I can see why some got jealous too. Thank you, spirit guides. Love. Love. The best thing in the universe, the most healing aspect on the universe. Pure, unconditional love, irrespective. That's how we heal people and planet. Love. Not enough of it currently are going around the planet. More haters than people that love. Focus on your inner wounds at this time. More healing time for people out there. Thank you, spirit guides. Right, pedophiles and traffickers. We've already had words in my spirit, in my mediumship reading. You will be brought down. Make no mistake. Why do you think I had to voice a paedophile and trafficking in there for a reason? Because I aid the survivors heal and get through it too. You pedophiles and traffickers, where are they currently most? Let's ask that question. So being weeded out of Shrewsbury pretty quick now, thankfully. Yes. Now. Okay. So you can track pedophiles and traffickers along the Earth's crystalline grids. That's what I do. I track pedophiles. Light them up like a Christmas tree so they can be caught quicker. So you can actually energy sense them along the ley lines. Top tip there for those that are healers and want to join in on this plight of ending pedophiles and getting them caught up for good. Not ending the lives of them as much as, you know. I would love to string the person up that did this to my son. I will not. That is not me. So you can track pedophiles and traffickers as energy sensitives along the ley lines. That's what I do. Right. So energy tracking them. It's easy to do if you know how. I've been doing it quite a while, like I said. Outside influences. Your own relationships. Mind the outside influences in your own relationships with third parties. Third parties are the biggest pain in the bums. Meditate. At this time, use your meditation. Southern Ireland, where my family are from. my royal Irish family from. Right, so in Southern Ireland at this time there are some lower energy vibrations, and that's something that I've been picking up on. I do need to go over there actually to see family. Listen to your intuition. The light workers, starseeds. Right. Southern Ireland's obviously importance for my family, and my husband's families, both our families were from Southern Ireland. Lower energy vibration. Just because somebody is a lower energy vibration, by the way, doesn't mean you should knock them. Hold space for them to elevate. Guide them to heal. That's what I do. Listen to your intuition for your light workers. Northern Ireland.